Good morning, everyone. The time is now 10 a.m. Welcome to the Brooklyn Family Support Service Advisory Council meeting. As you know, I'm Christopher D. Greif, the Correspondent Secretary for the Advisory Council and Chair of the Outreach. Before we proceed, just remind everyone, this is our agenda for today. As note, this agenda could be changed in quick as a whistle. Please note there is some corrections, but they will be fixed as we move on. At this time, before we proceed, as a reminder, everyone, housekeeping rules. As to remind you, your microphone should be muted. Please do not interrupt any person who is speaking. We do have hands raised. We do have the chat box. You can always say, if you're having trouble finding the hand raised, you can always put in the chat that I have a question. Use that as an option. If you need caption is available and could be also translated to a different language and make an enlargement. If you're having trouble, please put it into the chat and I will adjust it from the host at this time. As a reminder, you have your microphone, you have your camera. Please keep an eye on your Wi-Fi on your side. As a reminder, Wi-Fi does keep an eye on it so you'll know if it's low or it's going. If it's steady, it means it's working. Please make sure you do that at this time. So this is the housekeeping rules. As a reminder, transcript is noted on this meeting and it's recorded. As a reminder, please be careful what you say. Please do not use any foul languages or inappropriate words. Everything you say is duly noted. As a reminder, this time we are going to ask everyone who has an announcement, please raise your hand at this time for service openings, any events, trainings, anything you have that's coming up. Please raise your hand at this time and we will call on you at this time. Starting from Change Dance 2, Lex, you can go. Unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, I'm Lexi, and I am from Chance to Dance. We are a nonprofit dance organization that works with children and adults with various disabilities and special needs. I'm excited to announce that this next Friday, May 30th, we'll be having our very first accommodative and inclusive dance recital in downtown Brooklyn. That's going to be at 11:30 a.m. at the Roulette Theater. That is off of the Barclays Center stop on the train. And there's also an accessible entrance on Atlantic Avenue. If anyone has any questions, you can feel free to send me a message in the chat, and I'd be happy to pass along some information via email for you. But again, that's this next Friday, May 30th at 11:30 a.m. at the Roulette Theater. Thanks, everyone.
Alexis, this is Chris. Just to let everyone know, Atlantic Avenue, if you're coming off the D, the N, and the R, you must exit at the Pacific and 4th Avenue exit because you cannot switch over to the Barclay elevator. Because of construction on the Flatbush Avenue 2 and 3 elevator that goes down to the other trains, that elevator is being replaced. If you're coming from the Q train or coming from Flatbush or New Lots 2 and 3, you're fine. Please make sure that if you're coming to see her, please make sure you exit where the Manhattan bound 2 and 3, which is the Barclay elevator, or the Long Island Railroad elevator. If you're coming from the 4th Avenue corridor, which is the D, N, and R, please exit the Pacific and 4th Avenue elevator. That elevator is open and it's brand new. Thank you, Lex. Brian Rothstein, also Heaven's Hands, aka chair of the DD Council. I almost said chair of the advisory. Oh my God. Brian?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Rothenstein, Chair of Heaven's Hands Community Services and also Chair of the Brooklyn Developmental Disabilities Council. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you weren't on our meeting yesterday, check out our website, bkddcouncil.org, updates on everything going on in the OPW and IDD world. We post as many useful resources as possible, but really I'm here to plug our upcoming Brooklyn Family Support Fair, June 18th, Brooklyn College Student Center, 9:30 to 2. There will be refreshments. We'll have a 360 photo booth. There right now we have 65 agencies registered. I think we're going to have 7 Ask the Expert tables. So there's a little over 1 week left if any agencies are looking to table. We're pretty close to capacity, but we have a few more spots left. So please go on our website, scan the QR code. You can register for the event. It is free to attend for professionals and families and individuals, and that registration will remain open until the night before the event. But if any agencies or providers are looking to table at the event, you have just about a week left. We are running out of space. So please scan that code and register.
Thank you, Brian. Does anyone have any questions for Brian? Madam Chair, do you have any question for Brian?
No, I don't. I'm just very glad, Brian, you were here. And yes, everybody, please register for the Brooklyn Family Support Fair. And please make sure you bring your ID, your picture ID with you so you will have no problem getting into the building. But I hope to see everybody there because it's a great one-stop shopping for services that are in Brooklyn. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I said it's about 65 agencies as of today, 7 Ask the Expert tables, and we do have about 300 people non-agency, non-tables that are registered. So last year we had over 300 attendees, where we should surpass that this year. So it should be a really good event.
Oh, I believe so. In fact, I have to send you, I have another Ask the Expert person from the New York City Police Department, but I will send it to you. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it very much. Chris, is there, I know Sandy Napier had her hand up for announcement.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandy Napier. I'm a parent. I'm also from Adapt. And we've got some exciting webinars coming up. They're all free. And we always provide Spanish and Mandarin translation for all of our webinars. The first one coming up is this Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's attention problems and hyperactivity in preschoolers. Dr. Meryl Sheckman, who is a behavioral and developmental pediatrician, will be our speaker. The next one after that is toilet training made easy. And any of you know that training our kids is really something else. So for anybody who knows any parents who have toddlers and are going through this is a great webinar. It's Thursday, May 29th, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And Nadine Marr, who is a special education and a board certified behavioral analyst, will be our speaker. And lastly, on Wednesday, June 4th, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And this is a Wednesday. It's unusual, but this time it's a Wednesday. And we are going to have Dr. Christine Russo-Meyer, who is an audiologist, presenting on auditory processing disorder, setting up your child for success. So thank you very much. Have a great day. And I will be sending these flyers to Chris so he can put them on the website. And I know Brian has all of these as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Sandy.
you, Sandy. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Let me say her name. Grace, Gyure. Your hand is up.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So I'm from CARES. We're located on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And I just wanted to announce that we have availability for free evaluations for children who have not yet received OPWBD eligibility and live in Brooklyn. We have bilingual evaluators available. We also offer therapy, parent training, and psychiatric support. If you're interested, I'm going to put the information in the chat with the phone number and email that you can reach out to.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Cares. Brian, you had your hand up.
I just had a question for Grace.
Go ahead.
Do you have a wait list for the evaluations, or how long is the wait list for the evaluations?
Right now we don't. For the evaluations, we don't have a wait list.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Brian.
Sorry, I'm a little late. Hi, guys. Sorry. Grace, you do psychological, psychosocials, and medicals?
We do psychologicals and psychosocials.
Okay. And there's no wait list. Do you provide transportation?
We do not provide transportation.
Okay, where are you located?
It's 465 Grand Street on the Lower East Side. I'm going to put the address and contact information in the chat.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just to remind people, if you have a question, just to remind people, I know some people came in late. The hand raise is located on the smiley plus logo next to the chat. Just so everyone know, because I know somebody just asked me, can't find the hand raise. Don't worry. Thank you, Grace, for that announcement. And let me see. Oh, let me clear you off the hand raise. Okay. Once again, does anyone else has announcement? Check, because I'm making sure I'm looking. I do see Wayne from Chinese Planning Council. Do you have an announcement?
Yes, we do. Hi everyone. I'm Wei Sang from Chinese American Planning Council. I'm in charge of Brooklyn area. We still have about $1,000 family reimbursement funding left. If you still have a last minute submission, you can contact me at 934-223-9527. Again, my number is 934-223-9527. And we also have a weekend Sunday respite for adult participants. Have currently opening the waiting list. If you have any families, participants are close to Sunset Port, is welcome to come. We do not provide transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you also make sure you put that into the chat as well?
Yes, of course. Thanks, Chris.
Does anyone else have an announcement before we proceed?
Excuse me, Christopher. This is Deborah, your chair. Lucina Clark, I see you. So do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Very, very exciting. I'm out here sitting in the sun being on the Zoom, which is so wonderful this morning. Oh, we're having on Wednesday, May 28th. We are part of with our assembly member Monique Waterman, and we work a lot with mental health as well and emotional wellness. So I'm gonna say to you also, Chris, we are having like a Let's Talk Real Talk, me and my emotional wellness. So it's gonna be in-house. It's from 10 a.m. 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. to 2. It's like a whole morning of like a focus group. Even as raising a child with a disability, your own social, emotional wellness. How do you do that? And what supports and resources do you have? Because we have this whole 988 for mental health and awareness as well. So as parents, we need to find time for ourselves, do our self-care and be focused in that. So May 28th is a Wednesday from 11 to 2. Light lunch will be served. Come and connect with other parents. Talk about, what you're going through and how you can support in that circle. So it's going to be very exciting, a focus group. So thank you so much, everyone. Also, the second Wednesday of every month for our legislative committee group, please join us. Same Ring Central, as they say, Pat Central, same Ring Central with Chris Sunday. So please join us. We need you as parents to be there to learn how to better advocate and how to teach others like yourself, other peers and parents, how to advocate for the services, not to wait till April when it's budget season, but to make sure that you understand who your representatives are so you can be heard. Thank you again, everyone. Lucina Clark, and my co-chair is Maria Ellis. Thank you. So Willis, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lucina. So glad to see you. And we're looking forward to more events you have, and you're doing a great job as the legislative chair. And so is Maria Willis. So I want to thank
Thank you. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay, does anybody else has Christopher? I can't see the raised hands.
There is no
anybody
hand raised. That's why you don't have to worry. At this moment right now, for the last call, anyone else have an announcement? I did see some people did put into the chat box. I thank you. Otherwise, we're going to move on. But before I move on, Brian, do you have anything else you want to add to the DD Council now? Your report?
Just attend our committee meetings. We're always looking for more involvement, especially from families. We get a lot of involvement. Agencies are on the meetings, but it's not beneficial when agencies are talking to each other. So getting families to be a part of the conversation, be a part of the advocacy movement, be a part of the initiatives, be a part of everything we have going on. The more family involvement we can get, the stronger our advocacy is going to be. Hopefully that means the less cuts you see coming down and all those different kinds of things. And come to our event. If you're not registered, come to our family support fair in June. It's a great way to network and really see what we do.
Brian, stay on for one moment with me because we both need to do this together. Due to the facts, it's not the states, the federal government with the issues for cuts to Medicaid, which funds most of our services. We need to work, the Brooklyn DD Council as well as the Brooklyn Advisory Council are working together as a team to keep sending letters and communication with elected officials from city, especially to our federal. Am I correct, Brian?
Yes, and I think there was something I forwarded out yesterday, another like one-click type of thing.
Correct.
It's really with everything going on with the talks from the big beautiful bill, whatever they want to call it today. It's anything but in our world. He loves putting all these great terms to hide what's really going on. And if we stay too quiet, then the big beautiful bill will be passed. And while they're saying Medicaid won't be cut, of course Medicaid will be cut, and how it impacts our guys and the people we support in our population,
Right.
it's going to be devastating. So please keep your ear to the ground, pay attention when you see the emails coming out asking for advocacy alerts and help. Please just take a few minutes. It only takes maybe like 2-3 minutes to click the link. If you can add a personal touch or a personal story to it, that's even more impactful for the elected officials that these go to. You don't have to know who your electeds are. The website will do the work for you, but let's inundate them and overwhelm them with our standing loud and against these cuts that they're trying to pass through.
Yes, that's why, as you know, when Brian sends them out, we send them out. It's really important. We know that just like, oh my God, again and again, but we have to. The thought of us losing services that our previous generation of parents, the ones who also helped found when it was OPW, then it used to be OMR, but we all worked together as a team. And we're letting the elected officials know that the parents and professionals, our hands are together and we're working together to make sure that that we are united in this, and we don't want to see any cuts at all. So please, when you see those emails, the one click, please put your name in, keep doing it. The more they see it, the more they're going to see we mean business. Thank you, Brian, for your help and assistance too. Appreciate it.
Excuse me, Matt.
Listen, it's a team. We wouldn't be able to do it without each other.
That's true. Yes, Christopher.
And Brian, you're here, and Debbie, you're here. We have a person who wants to make an announcement, and I think, Brian, you want to hear this announcement. You might be interested. Miss Laura Collin, can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, I'm muting so she doesn't get back to you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for having me. My name is Lorraine Cannell. I am the Chief of Community Outreach for Strive High ABA Behavioral Supports and Interventions. We will be at the upcoming fair in June. Super excited about that. And I do want to let you guys know some new developments. We have open enrollment right now. Summertime is coming, which means there's extra hours of availability. There's talks out there that ABA cannot be billed along with therapy or HHA. I do have the information that disproves that they can be billed together. You can have all of those supports except for respite in the home with ABA. ComHab can be paired with ABA, OTPT-ST, as well as some other services, let's say skilled nursing. ABA is there to make sure that the child does not harm themselves or others while services are being provided. We are able to go inside of Department of Ed facilities and provide ABA inside schools, as well as any early intervention setting that is allowed. We also provide ABA in adult residential facilities as long as the residential facility doesn't already have ABA and allows us to come into the residence. So yep, we're providing ABA for adults. Open registration is as easy as a click with Medicaid. We take most major insurances and managed care plans. The ones that give us the most problems right now are Fidelis and Health First. They will deny, they will move around, they will say there's no funds, and they'll tell families to try to find a provider within their network. If we get a single case agreement, I work hard to go around that to make sure we could get you the services. But the most exciting news is we're getting site-based ABA. We're opening maybe 2 to 3 locations, one in each of the supporting boroughs, so that we can actually service people site-based instead of at home, because as we move into the age of adolescence, we want to be more in the community and more self-actualized. So ABA through Strive High is trying to accommodate that because we're best friends with OPWDD. Okay, that's about it on my side.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Brian and Deborah, do you have a question?
Yeah, one question. So you're saying health first, and what is the health first rationale?
Health First and Fidelis is the other one. They usually, because they have a lot of other providers within their network, even though they don't have availability, they will deny the behavioral service outside of network. And they're not, because of the government, the funding cuts, they don't want no new ABA providers. But Strive High is not worried about the cuts. We actually prepared for that. That's part of why we're increasing our revenue to include site-based, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we don't have any problem continuing with home-based service or in the Department of Ed or anywhere else.
Okay, thank you. Brian, do you have anything you want to ask?
No, I just want to plug that they will be at our fair in June, and also to comment on the conflict with respite. It's similar to many other OPW services as well.
Yeah.
Like respite can't work along with a lot of other things, whether it's home care or other OPW types of services, even though it's really, it's unfortunate because it is respite. The whole point of it is that break for the families. There's not actual formalized goals in teaching. I understand with home health aides why it does kind of cross over and impact, but I don't necessarily understand why it impacts with something
It
like
crosses with
ABA.
anything else. I agree
But I
with
think
you,
families are unfortunately used to that just because of the conflicts they run into oftentimes with respite.
correct. But don't worry, if anyone is going to get around that, eventually it'll be Strive High. Because I know the need. I know exactly what respite is. I was a respite worker. I was an MST before they called it care coordinator. So HHA and respite, I get it. Anything else with respite doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. We understand. Is there any, Krista, or is anyone else who's
No,
raised
no.
their hand?
No, we're good. And since Brian did his report, it's actually now, it's kind of funny. We're now up to, and Nina's actually here. So
Yes,
Nina,
very glad.
oh, Nina.
I'm here.
Hi, Nina.
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you hear me well?
Nina,
Yes,
I
Nina.
can.
Okay.
So,
My headphones are going to pop out of my ears.
and I'm going
Okay.
to mute, but thank you for coming today too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a conflict yesterday, and but Lucy did a great job. So I'm gonna start speaking about the enacted budget. On May 9, Governor Hochul announced the passage of New York State 2026 budget, and the final budget represents agreement between the governor and the two houses in the state of legislature, the Senate and the Assembly. There are still conversations behind the scenes with Department of budget, but in general terms, OPW's DD budget was not affected, and most of the initiatives were supported in the proposal. With the budget, Governor Hochul has made her clear commitment to families, including those with developmental disabilities, with the largest middle class tax cut in more than 50 years. New York State will be delivering close to $1 billion in tax relief to New Yorkers. And to fight back the inflation, this year budget includes New York first ever inflation refund, which will send checks up to $500 to families who are making up to $300,000. Governor Hochul has also expanded the state child tax credit up to $1,000 annually per child under 4, and up to $500 per child for ages 4 to 16. New York's enacted budget holds also promising wins for our frontline workforce while increasing health equity and modernizing research capabilities for people with developmental disabilities. The budget continues the 4-year trend of inflationary increases for New York frontline workers at 2.6%. In addition to the increase, the governor has extended the nearly $850 million in updated reimbursement rates for nonprofit residential and day service providers to allow them to offer more competitive wages for frontline workers, ensuring better retention, fewer staffing vacancies, and a better quality of life for people with developmental disabilities. We already hear about the positive impact on providers for hiring and retention. We know that healthcare, access to healthcare is not equal to all New Yorkers. That's why we are happy to announce that this year's budget includes $25 million to create regional disability clinics across the state that will improve access to healthcare system and resulting in a better health outcomes for people with developmental disabilities. The enacted budget also includes $75 million to modernize the Institute of Basic Research, and that's OPW's DD research. This investment is the largest in the ABR history, and it will establish a genomics core facility to better understand genetic defects underlying people's disabilities. The funding will also be used to reimagine the Center for Learning on the former Willowbrook School property. Governor Hochul knows that employment open doors for everyone. This year's enacted budget continues to build on New York's Employment First initiatives by more than doubling a maximum tax credit for businesses that hire people with developmental disabilities. So the credit is going to go up to $5,000. The significant increase will not only benefit people with developmental disabilities who want to work, but also the businesses that choose to offer that opportunity. I want to tell you that our agency is working with other agencies on first employment order. There's a lot of work that is being done that we are learning or providing our experiences, exchanging our experiences, and building the platform on how to expand the hiring processes for people with developmental disabilities. So a lot of work is happening behind the scenes, right? And hopefully we'll have more information on that soon. There are a lot of concerns about impact of the federal budget, and based on the figures in the House budget resolution, there will have to be cuts to Medicaid because it would be nearly impossible to meet the $880 billion reduction target without cutting Medicaid. The state financial plan is also assumes that federal government will provide $7 billion to cover the cost of New York's developmental disability service system this fiscal year. House Energy and Commerce Committee bill was introduced on May 13th. It includes numerous provisions that will have an impact on New York State Medicaid and recipients, but no explicit impact on people with disabilities. We are watching the process closely and will continue to provide updates as it holds. That bill also includes a lot of mandates, administrative mandates for the states. What happens is that there are records of duplication of services. People are enrolled in multiple waivers across the states. There will be additional requirements for Medicaid offices to do annual recertification, like proof of citizenship, proof of immigration status, employment, and residence, and etc. So that bill also includes possible cuts in possible Medicaid fraud. We understand the concerns and aware of the comments of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy that he made about people with autism and about creating an autism registry. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services since provided more information regarding Kennedy's comments about creating an autism registry in news reports, stating that a separate registry is not being created, but instead the federal government will be gathering already existing non-identifying clinical information regarding diagnoses from each state, and will be similar to the cancer database the National Institute of Health administers right now. New York State does not maintain a registry of people with autism, and we do not believe that there is a reason to be fearful about participating in essential government programs due to concern about personal information being shared. OPWDD takes our responsibility for our person's health information very seriously and works to protect the privacy of those we serve. Okay, so I also would like to mention that on Saturday, June 14, it's a National Outdoors Day. This year, OPWDD is joining New York State Department of Parks, Historic Preservation, Department of Environmental Conservation, Office of Mental Health, Justice Center, Office of Chief Disability Officer in Inclusive Day of Fun that will be in selected parks. In New York City, we have, we have a park, Danny Farrell Riverbank State Park in New York County would be in Manhattan, and on Staten Island, Mount Loretta Unique Area. So the events would be held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we encourage providers who support people with developmental disabilities to participate in the event. We'll have OPWDD's staff in most locations to facilitate various inclusive activities. And for the providers who will be attending the events, and they have, if they have large vehicles, vans, buses, they can register in advance for the New York City-based sites to ensure there is adequate parking on the day of the event. I also would like to mention that our Commissioner's Office just confirmed the annual strategic planning, right? So we will be hosting an annual strategic planning meeting on July 9 in New York City at Brooklyn Heights Public Library, located at 286 Cadman Plaza West. So I know that I don't see Carrie Banks here today, but a big thank you to her because she's the one who facilitated and worked with the commissioner officer on was the commissioner's office to identify this site. So commissioner will be and her team will be presenting on July 9 from 1 to 3 p.m. More information to come. All right. Also, and finally, I'm going to mention that in April, OPWDD announced the establishment of Commissioner's Task Force on Aging to build New York State recent work on the Master Plan of Aging. The Commissioner's Task Force on Aging will develop actionable recommendations to address the increasing needs associated with aging for people with developmental disabilities. The task force will be time limited, a subcommittee to the Developmental Disabilities Advisory Council, and will be co-led by members of the DDACs and Commissioner's Office. Membership will include subject matter experts in health, aging, housing, and developmental disabilities, and will include self-advocates, family members, developmental disabilities providers, and care coordination organizations selected by the task force chairs. So if there are any questions or suggestions, I can share the email. The email is ddAC@opwddny.gov, where people can send their questions to the commissioner's office. And that's it for me for today. Any questions?
Nina, this is Chris. You mentioned a lot of events that's coming up. Can you please put that into the chat, Madam Chair? Give me a second before you continue, because I just want to make sure Nina hears me. Can you please put that?
I hear you.
Yeah, I know you can hear me, but there are other microphones comes on, it causes an echo. Can you?
All right.
Because when you mentioned the park, because I know that's 145th Street. Can you just put that information also into the chat? Because yes, there is a bus that goes there. Yes, that bus does connect to accessible stations. Also, but I just wanted to ask you this question because I mentioned it yesterday as well. Since you also on July 9th, you're going to have CCOs. I did ask Lucy, and I'm going to ask you, and since you're having CCOs on the table, is there possible that councils with an S, and I'm saying the word councils, can also have a table as well to so the families know there is an advisory and there's a DD council? Because I think that will be another way of sharing information out. They don't have to sit there, but at least a table shows what the councils on each borough. Because if you guys are doing the city, they should know what is a DD council, how to reach them, because Brooklyn has websites, and I'm using the word S's a lot because I want people to hear the word S on my vocabulary word on that as well, on those parts. And the last thing, just to let you know, regarding the budget, yesterday you might see me on the governor's website. Guilty as charged. Yesterday, as you know, they opened the Far Rockaway branch of the A and the Rock Park Shuttle. Yes, I was with the governor. He's been mentioning a lot of good things. I think there's a lot of mixed communication going out because I think even yesterday, and Brian can vouch with me as well as Debbie, I'm hearing more the feds is cutting the Medicaid, but not the state. So what is there because I'm seeing, if you look at a lot of elected officials mentioning about the budget, they do mention Medicaid, but I'm hearing a lot of cuts coming into the feds level. So is there something that the councils should know about this? Because there is a communication going out, because I want to make sure as outreach goes out correctly. I want to play very carefully. Nina, you're
Chris?
muted, so I can't. Yes.
I was going to try to support Nina. So our advocacy is at the state level and the federal level. Yes. All the cuts, the big beautiful bill is a federal bill that's going to impact New York State. So I think that's what Nina was talking about before. When they're looking to cut all this money, it's going to trickle down and it's going to impact how much funding New York State gets. So that's why the advocacy is so important right now, because we need to get to our local officials to not support this bill, because it's going to impact their constituents more than anyone else. And a lot of times they blindly support their party or the president, or because that's from their party, but it's going to hit their counties and their towns just as bad as it is the Democratic and the blue towns. So while it's not a New York State bill that we're referring to, Chris, it's the cuts that are coming are going to greatly impact New York State and the money we get. Because remember, there's a match. And if New York State has to foot that bill, the reserve that the governor has built up is going to be wiped away in a matter of minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Deborah, you want to add?
Well, I want to ask, okay, Nina, first of all, I understand what exactly you're saying, and I do understand what Brian's saying. My concern is a little different. I know that we have the employment first, but one of the biggest issues we've been getting is parents and their care managers don't always understand the benefits. So what happens if you don't report it correctly when the person is on SSI or SSDI, they can get their benefits and Medicaid cut. So I'm hoping that before you start getting these people into jobs, and then of course you have to figure out what's the right job, but I want to make sure their benefits are protected, because they make you pay. Social Security doesn't care. They'll make you pay back, and they don't care. They'll take a lot of money out of that person's check, and it can affect also the rep payee, who's usually most of the time the parent. So when you do that, do you have benefit specialists speaking with the family so they understand what happens when we put the child to work? Hello?
Nina, you're still muted.
I hear that. SSI is supplemental security income is based on individuals' income levels, right? And every time there is a change in income, it should be reported to the SSI to prevent those overpayments, right? And I guess we all are striving for person-centered supports, right? For the individuals with developmental disabilities to be engaged in the community, to be independent, right? And I really encourage families to take on those opportunities. I know that OPWDD is working on a number of the programs that will and trainings for rehabilitation providers to develop, to have training tools on how to help people to transition from rehabilitation pre-vocational programs and go into the employment services. And it should be assessment done. Not everyone is equal, right? And we all have different skills and abilities, right? And it would be those assessments are the most important thing in identifying what the individual wants and what the person can do, right? So we, even though that we are so, right, we are so protective of the benefits, right, that we have right now, right? But having that independence and building new skills for the person with developmental disabilities, I think that's very, very important to have the rich life and
Nina,
feel like everyone else.
Nina, that's one piece I will disagree with you about. Our children, most people with developmental disabilities, have pre-existing health conditions, and with the danger now of Medicaid being cut, that's their health care, and if they lose their health care, that really will be very devastating, especially because many of they age faster, and this is from IBR, and they also get different. They become diabetic sooner. they can get other illnesses. So my big concern is that before we push them in, and I'm not worried about independence because you can be working and not be independent. You could be your parent puts you on the van, they take you there, or they put you on accessory. And yet the person still can't control their own money. I am very worried and concerned. I have seen, and I and other families have had Social Security been cut, even though we reported it correctly, to the point that many of us became, some didn't, but some of us became homeless. I'm also concerned about the health care. That with this current administration, with their so-called big, beautiful bill, they don't care you have disabilities. They will cut. And then what happened to the person with the pre-existing health condition? They put them in a higher insurance bracket. So more of their money is going to insurance to pay for the medical insurance than their money they could use to like rent an apartment or be part of a house. That's a very scary thing. So before we all push, that's what I'm saying. Please make sure that the parents and their siblings, the family members, are aware of how to report correctly and to prevent losing their medical coverage because they made too much money, and now they also lose in New York State the Medicaid waiver that allows them to, as long as they don't go over $1 over their parents. These are the ones who collect under their parents. We have to be very careful. It's a very serious thing. And that's why I'm asking to please have LPWDD must have good benefit specialists or work with them and to make sure that you do not cut those important services that does also truly then give you independence. If you have a job and you have good health insurance, then you can take care of yourself. Then you really have true independence. But without good medical coverage, I'm sorry, that's not independence. You can be, because you'll have people who are diabetic who are working and they're not taking the medication because they can't afford it. So we need to really make sure the families and the government has to understand. I understand what OPWD is doing, but that's not true independence if you cannot take care of yourself correctly. So that's where I'm coming from. So I hope you understand, and I'm not blaming you, Nina. You are reporting what comes out of Central and the governor's office. So I just want you to know you are the messenger, and no, I'm not doing what they claim. This statement is, no, I'm not shooting the messenger. I'm just letting you know that's a very serious thing we have to be careful with. Very serious. So thank you for hearing me out. Does anybody else have any questions for Nina?
Brian, do you want to add that or you're okay?
I'm okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have a question for Nina?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nina. Angela or and I can't see her name right now because I can't find it.
Siobhan.
Hunt. Ms. Hunt, do you guys have anything you want to add?
I
Well,
don't have
I
anything
can-
to add. Thank you.
And what I forgot to mention that tomorrow we have a training for FSS RFP scores, right? We have the WebEx schedule, and Deborah, you probably
Yes.
are part of that.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe I am. I hope you stay for a minute. I want to announce two things. You're actually right. Tomorrow is the meeting for the training for the scores. I'm the first scorer. My alternate is Miss Sandy Naper. She's the recording secretary. We have three backup alternates also. The Mrs. Ann Menino, Mr. Christopher Greif, and Miss Lori Rosenfeld. We know about the trainings tomorrow. I'm ready. My alternate, Miss Naper's ready. But the other thing was, as you know, I represent Brooklyn on the statewide. I asked the exec members and parent members of the advisory, and no, they don't want me to leave, so they voted for me to stay on as the state the representative to the statewide Family Support Service Advisory Council. The letter will be written, we will send it to you and Robin, and then we'll just, my statewide, the two chairs that are Gail Pato, as well as Kathy Nowak they'll be notified soon. So I'm just letting you know, they don't want me leaving. They said, no, wait, because you see, I'm also, we are trying to, and we have been very successful. For one thing that was good too, was we got some very important items off the non-allowable list for the ADM reimbursement. And yes, they finally got it when I told everyone not to blame the local DDR. Like, I've refused to hear that because it came out of Central. That's their rules. But we can work together in a very nice way and show justification on things that maybe we should try to take off the non-allowable to the allowable. But we can do this without hurting anybody's feelings. So I just wanted you to know. That's why I didn't want you to leave. I know you're super busy, but I wanted you to know, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. All righty. No one has any more questions for Nina? And
No, but let's get the coordinators. We're just ready to speak.
go right ahead.
Angela or Miss Hunt, you guys are ready? Just if you want to add anything.
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. But hello.
Thank you for being here, Miss Hunt, as well as you, Miss Angela Blades. Thank you. Happy to see you both. All right, if no one has any more questions for Nina or anyone else, I'm going to do my report. As you heard before, the members, the
Excuse
exec
me,
member.
you're skipping the agenda. It's actually the outreach report. Then it's you.
All right, go for it.
Okay, good morning again, everyone. This will be my report, and I hope everyone is, well, we have good news. I know we still have some issues to still deal with. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go as quick as I can because I know we got a lot of good things. One thing I'm going to mention about, as you know, Brian does a fantastic job with the website for the DD Council, as well as, you know, we have ours as the Advisory Council, but we still work together. As you know, in the announcement, I always tell everyone, please use the QR code to get on the websites. But just to remind agencies who are here or listening, if you have any service openings, always remember to A, send it to Brian, B, send it to the advisory, so therefore that we update our website. I know I work on it on Saturday because that's when the pressure is down like that. So at the same time, remind everyone, if you have training events, service openings, news update, like you want to add, like Brian, or sometimes other people will add information about budget, some other things coming up, or some things we need to be aware of, or safety, not just in the OPWD, but outside the world, like NYPD will give us tips, FDNY might tips and stuff, those. And yes, transportation is also information is there as well. And OPWD DDRO's information is always on their website, information, and soon the guidebook will be coming in soon. As Brian has mentioned, and I'm going to repeat this every time until everyone gets it's in their mind, please make sure you register for the Family Support Fair. It is extremely important that you register for a reason, because our council is not doing a resource fair in the month of June because we want everyone to attend the Family Support Fair. And if you have not got a chance to register, do it now. It's there. Just use your cell phone, scan it, and bam, you're registering. Faster than a steel and bullet, ailing tall buildings in a single bound. And not going to mention Superman, but means you registered for the fair. So just to remind you, this will repeat again and again and again until we get everyone registered. And as Deborah said and Brian said it, please make sure you have an ID with you. So it's easier and quicker, and you get in and get out quick. Now, as a reminder, everyone, the Development Disability Resource Fair has been doing really well this year. I want to thank the DDRO, and I will repeat again, as Nina said it, Carrie Banks, who's been working with us very well. I do want to thank the agencies who have been attending, and I do want to thank the DD Council and Heaven's Hands and all the agencies, because we're getting a lot of families knowing who we are, and not just the advisory, but the DD Council, the library, OPWDD, so they know we're there. And we hope to see our elected officials pop in sometimes. We have in the past seen some do pop in. Thank God. They're not them, but their staff. It's also good to them to get some education in. As a reminder, everyone, our next one is July 8th as we celebrate the Disability Pride Month, ADA 35. And also remind you, Disability Pride Month celebrates their 10-year anniversary. So don't worry, folks. We're going to have some fun. As a reminder, July is Disability Pride Month, 10-year anniversary celebrating Disability Pride Month and ADA 35. If you know you're going to have events, please let us know. Now, I'm just going to remind everyone that a lot of events are going around the whole, not just New York City, but New York State and around the United States. There will be a lot of events coming up in July. Some people say, but it's vacation time. Yes, but guess what? Celebrating what we accomplish, what we need to still accomplish. 35 years of advocating for people with disabilities and who are now seniors. So make sure you guys, if you're going to have any events, please let us know. Let both councils know so we can share the information and share the love of information as well. Let's me move on. Just to let everyone know, this is a serious notice because I don't want to get called tomorrow. And I mentioned it yesterday as well at the DD. Please be advised, because of switch replacement, and I want this fixed so badly because I don't want to get stuck, or I don't think anyone wants to get stuck. Please be advised that the D train and the N train will not go to Coney Island from the starting tomorrow until 5 a.m. Tuesday, which is the 27th. There will be shuttle buses running to the Bay 50th station on the D and 86th Street on the N. Please note that those two stations are not ADA accessible. So if you really need the D and the N, you have to go to Manhattan, use the F and Q train. Note, the B train will only run to Kings Highway. Because of the switch replacement they're doing right outside the station, the B cannot go into the yard, and the Q cannot go into the yard. The Q will still go to Coney Island, but you will see trains parked outside of Kings Highway to Brighton Beach. So please make sure you read the notices and everything. And note that Atlantic, as I said earlier when one of the people made the announcement, because of elevator replacement on the Flatbush Brooklyn bound 2 and 3 and the 4 and 5 in both directions, those two elevators are out being replaced. So try not to switch at Atlantic unless you're crossing over to the R train, or if you're on the Q and B, you can still switch to Manhattan bound 2 and 3 only. And you can still exit to the Barclays Center or the Long Island Railroad if you're on the Q and B or the Manhattan bound 2 and 3 platform as well. So I want to make that very clear. As I said yesterday, I'll say it again today. Yes, the Rockaway has returned full service to A service. As you see in the bottom picture, yes, it looks brand spanking new. And trust me, it's better than it was before because it was cracked and everything. It was very easy to lift it out because one more storm, bam, it will come apart. Yes, you did see me with the governor. And you couldn't believe how I can multitask there. But the main thing is the governor and everyone in the Rockaways were like, she's here. Yes. So I'll just let everyone know she's very pleased seeing the construction starting on time and getting really done. And I did get a chance to speak to the staff and stuff. That's why I mentioned that question earlier to Nina, because we just need to continue advocating. And I know we're going to be mentioning that in a little bit more. But just to let everyone know, in events, we do, because you guys have all been asking me this, the parade of trains will be running again on June 7th and 8th from 11 to 4. So certain exec members who live near Kings Highway can get the train there. Just make sure you pay your fare. And you can go back from Kings Highway to Brighton Beach. Kings Highway to Brighton Beach. Note that Kings Highway is ADA accessible. I will be at Kings Highway once I get on the first train going in, and I'll be chilling there just to make sure everything is fine. So you will see me there chilling out. We also just let everyone know we have the Neverlands program. LEAP pamphlets just came out. Unfortunately, right now, yes, it's in Manhattan, and yes, it's in the 6th line. And please note, some of the trains do have it that goes into Brooklyn that may have them, so please be alert on that as well. This is for people who are not just deaf and blind, but language as well. You can look on it on the MTA accessibility / all that information in the bottom. If I mention it, it'll be here until next year. And I'll remind everyone, please make sure you register for Omni. We do have two new pamphlets. The first one is how to sign up the Omni account. Doesn't have to be a disability, but it also could be for reduced fare or full fare. And just letting everyone know, to register is going to omni.info, click on the registering, enter your email, create a password, and whatever email account you're using that does work, please make sure you have a second screen so you can get the activation code. Once you get that done, then the Omni account is ready to go. Now, if you want to put your bank card plus your Omni card into that account, we do have that pamphlet right here. And I will remind everyone that, as I said before, once you're on the account, it's the same way you put in your regular credit card. It has the same codes, the 3-digit code, and the when it's going to expire. All this information is on our website, and it's also on the omni.info as well. So I just want to let everyone know. And just to remind everyone, if you lost your Omni card reduced fare, that's for seniors and disabled, these are the stations right now do exist. They are announcing soon additional more, which I don't have that at this time. So please make sure that if you lost the card or the car got run over by a bus, you can get it replaced like a snap of the finger. If you know any seniors who are 65, they can actually go to those customer service centers and sign up. They're open 24/7, so you don't have to always go to the reduced fare vehicle. And just to remind everyone, if you have gotten the AAR Omni card, you can also add it to your account as well. We have 2 ladies here that already have both. So whoever told you can't have both, they lied. And just to remind you, the survey is still in effect. We remind you to please choose what station you want in the 5 boroughs system. So please do your part. That is all I have at this time. Does anyone have any questions for me at this time? Comments, concerns? Just to remind everyone, as you check, make
Yes,
sure.
Chris, I have something to say.
Yeah.
Everybody, the survey that Christopher is talking about is which subway station do you want to be made accessible? So you could say, example, Avenue X on the F train. Give the reason why. You can also then also includes whatever station in the 5 boroughs, and that also you can request also for in New York City, even in the New York State, for train stations either with Metro North or Long Island Railroad to be made accessible too. Just wanted that clarified.
Madam Chair, just be advised that this is only for the 5 borough subways, not the railroads, because the railroads, the only station does not have an accessible station right now is East New York. That is already on the list. Second, Metro North is already going to get updated accessible stations. So I just want to let everyone know that as well. Thank you, Nina. I know Nina just put something on. I have to jump off next call. Thank you, everyone. So she's just saying, everyone have a great day. Since no one else has any questions for me, Madam Chair, it's your turn. Madam Chair, ready for you?
Yes, I'm ready. Hello, everybody. All right, I want to report that first I want everyone to have this date. Wednesday, June 11th, from 11 to 3 will be the statewide Family Support Service Advisory Council. You are allowed to observe either through virtual or in person. I believe they're going to have us back if we meet in New York City at Beaver Street, 25 Beaver Street. I will get back to you on that. You can also register to speak at the public session. If you have any thoughts, concerns, it's very important. We do want to hear from the public, or if you are listening to the meeting and something came up and you have a question or concern, you're more than welcome to give that and during the public session. As I said before, I thank my fellow members of my advisory councils, exec board, who asked me to stay on for another 3 years to do the statewide Family Support Advisory Council. The role of the statewide member is that, one, we let them know what we've been doing in the local level, but we also find out what Central Albany is. When we say Central, the Albany, where OPW's headquarters is, what information they give to us that we bring back to the families in reference especially for family support programs and services. And as Nina said, we are doing an RFP, and Brooklyn, I will be doing the training tomorrow with Mrs. Sandy Napier, and we will, if there's a problem where one of us can't sit through the RFP for whatever program or agency, we have alternates. All of our alternates, as well as myself, have signed conflict of interest forms. This way we will have no conflict, which means, one, I'm not working for the agency that has put forward their RFP, and I am also not on any of their boards. So I want everybody to know that we made sure that we followed the rules, and this is being overlooked by the New York State Controller, DiNapoli's office. So everybody should be aware we're going to make sure that we do this above and beyond. We are very happy that finally RFPs have come back, and we are going to keep this up. Please, agencies, all of you have family support programs. You know, you have the consumer satisfaction surveys. Please, families, please fill them out. Send them back to the agencies. And if you'd like to make copies and send it to us, we'll keep a file on it. And please don't take this as a negative. It's that we need to know if this program's working and we need to expand it. We need to know. And it is part of, it means that we have to let everybody know. It is part of the contract that is signed by the agency. And also, if you have any reimbursement, please remember that Angela Blades will oversee she is also, besides the family support coordinator, for the reimbursement too. Now, we also did discuss the budgets for New York State, and some of it's great, most of it's great, very little not, but there's some that's not. But we need to do something very, very important. So Christopher, forward to these, as you see. Okay. If you see that we have been cut on certain areas that you felt more should have gotten, you have the right to let your state assembly person know, state senator, and the governor's office know. Now, as you see here, it's going to be for 2026 state budget. That includes $37 billion for education, the highest amount that's ever been in New York State. And it is an $8 billion increase since Governor Hochul took office. There's also open that $35.3 billion in total school aid, a record high, an increase of $825 million for 2024, and this includes a $507 million increase in foundation aids, free school meals, which is going to be very, very important, because we need to make sure the children are fed right, because you learn better when you've eaten correctly. As you see, it's going to be a savings for the families of 1,600. As you see, 340 million to ensure free breakfast for K to 12. Yes, I know not everybody's happy about the school cell phone ban, but we really the kids have to go to school and learn. Open in a new detailed budget bills are, they have ways where you can look in and figure out how the budget was founded. Okay. Please, Chris, go with the next one. Okay. If this is too small, I apologize. As you see, all right, one thing I know that everybody was a little upset about. Okay. All right, I can't see this now. There we go. Okay. As you can see, one thing that was left out but I'm still glad to see that they have for the housing access voucher, they have for different childcare, but we need to fight all, and we have to be, I'm very happy the libraries got 13.9 million or 3 million. Sorry, can't see the bottom. And all right, we still, if you see something in this budget, as you see, it is important that they are repairing the libraries. We don't want any of the, we don't want to lose libraries because they were damaged. Now, I was briefed by Chris Treba, who was very upset, and he's right. Early intervention, which is very helpful for our population, did not get any increase. We still have the right to advocate to any of the elected officials to add money, or if they have discretionary funds, to make sure they put money toward the early intervention. I'm extremely happy that they did, I would say, they did increase money for the MTA, because we do have to make sure the infrastructure of the buses and of the trains, buses, and that includes their depots, and that includes the highways they travel on, are in good shape. So finally they got the help. But we also should see, I'm not going to go through all this, but one thing I am very happy to finally see that they are acknowledging $250,000 to launch the State Center for Dyslexia and Dysgraphia. And why am I happy? Because many of us in the population do have dyslexia, which is when you have trouble reading correctly, but also dysgraphia, where you have trouble writing because you have trouble with your hands. You can't hold a pen or pencil. So these are the different budget. Everybody read it. It is, both of these are on the budgets. New York State new budget is on both Advisory Council and the Brooklyn DD Council. I am extremely happy that they did that much money, $75 million investment into basic research for developmental disabilities. That is a wonderful, and I really mean wonderful thing, because and I appreciate the state senator, Jessica Scarlett-Spanton, and all of the elected officials, but also there's someone very important standing there, Willie Mae Goodman. Thanks to her, and there's Bernard. These people fought very hard to get our children out of Willowbrook, to see that the IBR is funded correctly, and for all of their advocacies. We cannot even begin to thank them for what they did. Yes, that's our Commissioner, Willow Bear, and this is the Commissioner for any form of disabilities. So I don't have the name for everybody, but I wanted, what?
Chief Accessibility is her title.
Right, she's the Chief of Accessibility for New York State. We need to make sure all of our whole state is accessible as possible. That means not just only physical, where you can get in and out of the buildings correctly, get to the restrooms, We also need to make sure people who have visual or hearing disabilities have access so they can hear. Okay, Chris, go to the next one. Okay, as you see, okay, we went through the MTA, and yes, if you hear of, when you see them standing up, they want to hear your opinion about the IBX. That's the Interborough Expressway, which would start where there are train tracks that start in Bay Ridge that go across, and they want to propose a light rail. Light rails, and instead of, so you don't have to go to Manhattan to get back to Brooklyn. They will have more information sessions. Please, if you see them, please go to them or email your answers. Okay. As you see how much they're trying to make sure, as I said, that this system is truly accessible. Chris, go to the next one, please. Okay. This is one of the most important things. We need to be a pest, and we need to keep sending. Do not cut Medicaid. Because you know something, they keep forgetting that people with, do you know we're the only country in the United States that we're supposed to be ahead of everybody, and we don't even have correct healthcare system for people? And then they want to cut programs claiming it's a waste. What, they think this is not correct. You know why we need Medicaid? Please, you let your local elected official know, whether go from city council all the way to the feds. Why do I say that? There are a lot of city council that share the same office with their federal partners. Let them know. And also let the Republican leadership know that we mean business. They're not going to cut. So please contact them. Okay, Chris, next slide. Okay. Now, if you're not sure of who your elected officials are, you click on here and you put in your zip code or your address and where you live, and you will see who is your city council, state assembly, state senate, and your congressperson. But you see, everybody in New York State has the same governor, we also have the same United States senators, the lead senators Chuck Schumer, as well as Christian Gillibrand. So please let them know and don't back down. Next slide, please, Chris. As you see, yes, we are being a pest about the fair, but it's a great fair. And this is great for you to get whatever information you need for your child to see that you get the services they need. So please come. And when they say ID, it's picture ID. So please use a picture ID. Go on to the next slide, Chris. As you see, our next meeting will be on June 17th. Here, 9:45 with Ring Central. We look forward to having you there. Please, parents, whenever you see any of our subcommittee meetings, please attend. We do need parent input. I have to tell you, we need your input. We always need to know which services are working, which ones aren't. I take this very seriously. I like hearing when you tell me you need something. Okay, I see somebody's hands up.
That would be Brian.
Whose hands up?
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Okay, I just wanted to make a quick comment because I did get some people to reach out to me on the side about the ID for Brooklyn College and what they require. So the easiest thing is everyone has to register. You have to put in your name and any guest name that are coming with you. Brooklyn College is trying to make sure their security is top notch and that we are protected that day and everything runs smoothly. They will not be requiring IDs from children if you come with your kids. They are not super strict, and I know a lot of people are concerned because we say they ask for IDs. If someone really doesn't have a photo ID, if you can verify your name and other information, they'll have it on a list already. So that they will not prevent you from getting in. And if there is a real problem, they will come get one of us from the council. But it'll just make things move as smoothly as possible if you do have a picture ID and you bring that with you.
If you also have a current, if you haven't switched to Omni and you have your reduced fare Metro card, that's acceptable too as an ID. I also, one thing I've always was told, bring a piece of mail that shows your address just in case you don't have picture ID or the picture on your Metro card's been wiped off. Those are things I've been always told to do. But give us a call or they'll come and get us and we'll come down and verify you. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you bringing that up. Anybody else has their hand? It's like, does anybody have any?
Does anyone
Let
else
me-
have a question for the chairperson and mention any concern about the Medicaid? It is important that we hear from you guys. That's why we mentioned, please raise your hand, put your comments into the chat. We'd like to hear from you. Brian, do you want to add anything also? Brian, I didn't hear you. You're still muted.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Brian. Does anybody else who came in late have an announcement for any of their programs? Okay. Last thing I'll be letting everybody know is when we are going to start our meetings, when we start again in the fall. Please let me know if there are any subjects or topics you're interested in. You can email us and let me know if you have a subject you want us to discuss, we will. As you see, you can email me and I will get back to you. And there, if you have information that needs to go on our website, see that? That's the website. Please get it in by this Friday so that and when you see Saturday that the website is down or off, it just means that we're adding information, updated information to the website. So I appreciate if everybody knows about that. Also, please feel free to take part in any of the events that are coming up. And again, I thank everybody. So nobody has any other questions or concerns?
No.
Okay. As Brian says, it's 11:22. We're ending early. You will be able to get, I think, like 48 minutes back into your life. So again, I thank everybody. Look forward to seeing everybody at the upcoming meetings, as well as the Brooklyn Family Support Fair. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Ann. Bye, Chris. Bye, Debbie.
Bye, Brian. Thank you again.